Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up podcast. I'm your host, Braden Corbeil, here with my co-host, Brandon Brundy Corbeil. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have no shortage of news to go over. And we could start with the Raddysh trade. We could start with the Babcock hiring, which broke an hour, maybe two ago. But we have to start about the Brady Tkachuk trade. That's everyone's talking about it. That was massive news. But first, I think we got to set the scene a little bit with the trade that set it up. So, Brundy, do you want to break us down the Florida Seattle trade that I think happened like less than half an hour before the Brady Tkachuk trade?
Yeah, it happened pretty quick beforehand. Where is it here? So Florida traded Samoskevich to Seattle in exchange for the 25th overall pick and a 2027 second round pick. That was the first of the two deals. And I mean, it makes sense for Seattle. I think you kind of had to get a little bit more skill up there, and Samoskevich is young, fits their timeline. So it makes sense for Seattle, and you don't really need to keep holding on to those later first round picks. Like you've got your first near the top of the draft, and you got to start building up. So makes sense there. And for Florida, we knew it was part of something bigger.
Nobody thought this was going to be the end. Although I think most people, myself absolutely included, I thought they were going to turn this around into a Connor Hellebuck.
That's what majority of people thought it was going to end up. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people don't love this for Seattle, and I get why. It's a lot to give up for a guy like Mackie Samoskevich, and especially because Seattle's like the land of the middle sixers, right? And that's kind of what he is. But most of their guys that are like that are a lot older than he is, and on top of that, he also played in university with Matty Beniers. He was on Matty Beniers' line for quite a while in juniors, so maybe they're hoping that'll get him going a little bit. I mean, if it does, it's immediately worth it because a lot of their franchise hinges on how well Matty Beniers can develop and be their at least very solid number 2 center at the minimum. But we'll have to see how that works out for for Seattle. But Florida, then they take those picks, they turn around, and not much time passes. They must have had this deal pretty set to go through already. And then they trade to Ottawa their 9th overall pick, the 25th overall pick that they got from Seattle, and a 2027 second. Do you know if that's the same second?
So I think the second's a conditional second, I believe. So it's one of either two. So
okay. And a 2029 first. So that's 2 first rounders this year, 9th and 25th overall, a first in 2029, I believe it's top 10 protected, and a conditional 2027 second for Brady Tkachuk.
Reuniting with his brother Matthew in Florida.
Yep.
I mean, no one should be surprised by this.
No. I'm surprised by the timing.
He was ever gonna,
I guess. Like
I wasn't.
I didn't think it would happen this soon. There was no rumors of it, and Ottawa generally is kind of a bit of a leaky ship. Usually, you hear about their stuff before it goes down, but no, didn't hear a peep out of that until it happened. So I don't hate the return for Ottawa. Like a lot of people were
can't
like,
decide yet for them.
A lot of people, I think, originally were like, how do you not get a roster player back? And that's definitely a fair argument because that's their captain. That's this is more than just an impact player. And, how long were we saying it all earlier this year going into the playoffs? They were like a top 5 team in terms of all their analytics, except their save percentage was just in the dirt. Like their goaltending just was brutal this year. And
held them back.
I think a lot of people think this is going to be a huge step back for them. I think it's going to be a step back. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. Um, it's hard to know if it's been confirmed because it's things that different insiders and different guys with connections are saying, but it sounds like Brady Tkachuk was a totally different teammate after the Olympics. Um, it sounds like before the Olympics, he was doing all the things that he said. He was buying in. He was doing what he can. I mean, how many times on the podcast did we said it? He's trying to drag this freaking team to the playoffs. Um,
Well, and that's
but
stuff we've talked about before, right? With that, U.S. Olympic team is, you look at a lot of the guys now, Brady Tkachuk's already got moved. Um, you know, Dylan Larkin is wanting out. There's rumors swirling pretty heavy now that Zach Werenski might want out of
yeah,
Columbus, Connor Hellebuck in Winnipeg. Like, and these are all guys that have been in the league now for a while and have won nothing. They finally got a taste of winning and what it's like to be on a winning team and have some achievements and whatnot. And they go back to their regular team, their NHL team, and realize that it's not going to happen here. I can keep trying and
yeah.
try to put this team on my back and whatnot, but realistically, you look in the mirror and you look in the locker room, it's not going to happen. And so that's what we're starting to see with a lot of these guys. Of again, that's why Dylan Larkin. The usual, the Florida, Minnesota, Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Brady Tkachuk was Florida, Carolina, um, Minnesota, Vegas.
And see, that's what he said.
Like
But then the
that's
Sens accepted a deal from Minnesota. They just needed him to sign off on it. And even though he said he's good going to Minnesota, he said, "Well, actually, no. Go check with Florida again." So
well.
it
It
sounds like
sounds
he
like
originally gave him
Minnesota
a
had
four-team
an
list, and then
offer.
that pretty quickly became a one-team list. Like he gave him
Yeah,
that chance, and then was like, "Well, actually, no. Try again with Florida."
because he saw there was a realistic chance to go to Florida, and
Yeah.
so obviously again, like I don't blame him. He had to go play with his brother, like going to a
And
powerhouse team. I mean, like why
um,
would you not, right?
but
Um,
continuing what I was saying over there, after the Olympics with Brady Tkachuk, it sounds like he was so disengaged in the locker room. He was trying less in games. It sounds like he almost entirely stopped going out with the team to like team events, where guys would get together and do stuff in the different cities. It sounds like he stopped doing that. He stopped being a vocal guy in the locker room. Like, um, again, this is a lot of more local Sens reporters saying this and stuff. I haven't heard an Elliot Friedman or somebody where I'm pretty confident that this is the truth.
mhm.
But there's been enough people saying it there that I'd be shocked if enough of these people were just making it up.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna look into that too much right now or dive in because again, for me, it's got to come from a, a bigger name that has a lot of credibility. Because again, around this time of year, a lot of the smaller beat reporters will throw out anything to drive up clicks and get people to subscribe to their website and whatnot. And is it true? Definitely, it's a possibility, but I'm not gonna. We don't know for sure, right? Like it is all speculation, and there's definitely a high likelihood that is true, but again, we don't know for sure. But it definitely did seem kind of apparent on the ice. Like it didn't seem um like Kachuk was the same after the Olympics, and again, is
He
it
wasn't the same Brady Tkachuk in March this year that we saw him be in March last year.
yeah, yeah. I think by the time the Olympics ended, he had already kind of checked out and made up his mind that he was going to be
Yeah.
moving on from the Senators. And like you mentioned, a lot of people are talking about they didn't get a single roster player back, and we do know that they tried to get Lundell. Florida said no. They tried
People
to get
keep
Carter
including him in mock
Verhaeghe.
trades, and
Florida said
Florida's doing the
no.
exact thing that I figured they would with Lundell. They're telling people, no, we value him like he's a first line center,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have to give us the sun and the moon to get him. And like I was telling people, a couple weeks ago when Larkin was the one everyone was talking about. Everyone thought he was going to Florida, and they're like, does Lundell and this get it done? I'm like, I don't think you guys realize how good Lundell's been for Florida. If Detroit says Larkin Lundell 1-for-1, I think Florida says fuck off. I legitimately think they don't do that. Like, Lundell is a huge part of their team. Also, banger contract. Banger contract. I believe he's got $5 million a year for 4 or 5 more years.
So it's not like Ottawa didn't try to get players back. They definitely did.
They also tried to get
Verhaeghe to know. Yeah,
I believe.
But
I'd be curious to know trade protection. I imagine he axed it.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like Florida also just said no, is what I heard. Like Florida just said we're not. Yeah, but Florida basically stood their ground and said you either take these picks or fuck off. I'd be curious to know if Ottawa wanted Samoskevich, like if that was out there at all, or if this deal happened so quickly afterwards after Samoskevich was earned. Because I feel like Samoskevich could have been a good fit in Ottawa, but maybe they were just dead set on no, we want the picks instead. I don't know. I wonder
if Samoskevich was involved in the deal, and it was like they kind of talked it out of like, what do you value him as? Around a late first rounder. He's around that area. And then once they realize they could get a first and a second from Seattle, they make that trade and then go, okay, here's the first rounder that he would have been worth. And then they also have the second rounder to do whatever with.
In a second. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting for Ottawa. All the stuff that's kind of come out is that they're not set on using these picks to draft. Like, it sounds like they're going to try and use these to make a move elsewhere. What that move might be, I don't know. But they've got options. They're currently sitting on 3 first-round picks now. One of them is being obviously 32 at the very end.
I think Jordan Kyrou could be a interesting name there. I know a lot of people are linking them to Jason Robertson as well, but I think with what's going on at the moment, it's not something you should be paralyzed in fear by, but you got to be aware of picking up these American players. And especially a team like Ottawa. Like, it's not just, every Canadian market has to watch out, but Ottawa, Winnipeg, Calgary, those 3 in particular, they are very cold areas. They are smaller markets. They are taxed more than the States, obviously. Like, if a player ever has 3 teams they can get traded to, if Calgary's on the list, it's because they're from there, right? Like, when do you hear a guy be like, I'm willing to go to Nashville, I'm willing to go to New York and Winnipeg? Like, you just don't hear it. So they got to be careful and maybe get a Canadian boy up there.
I want to be interesting to see with Ottawa too, with Jake Sanderson. Like, that's that's a guy that's been on those teams, and is he still committed to trying to win in Ottawa in second round, or is he already contemplating getting out of there? That'll be something to keep an eye on. But
it's starting to become a real narrative. Like, I was thinking the other day, even in the PWHL, the Golden Eyes just drafted Caroline Harvey first overall. She's like looking to be a generational defenseman. She might be the best women's defenseman in the world right now, and she hasn't played a game in the PWHL yet. She's American. Who knows? They got a whole bunch of new American teams there. Like, is this a bit more of a widespread thing? We know how close those leagues are. Like, they talk all the time, right? Like, it's one of those things where maybe it's just this weird summer where all this weird stuff happens. Maybe we're just entering a new era where it's, if you're if you're the Jets, you're drafting a lot of Canadians, Finns, Swedes, and Russians. And maybe you go, fuck, I like this American player, but like, what we saw in the early 2010s with Russian players, where teams were just like, we don't want to draft the Russian guy. And a guy like Kucherov falls to the late second round. Like,
I think it's, not just, for Canadian teams staying away from American players, but I also think it's GMs need to be smarter about handing out the full no movement clauses, right? Because
Absolutely.
we're seeing how much power players get to the point where a lot of people are saying they need to switch it up and make it where if you got a full no movement, but you request a trade out and say you want out, then the no movement clause is just voided, and
Yeah.
you're able to be traded anywhere. Now, obviously, that's never going to happen. The players are never going to agree to that, but we're seeing time and time again now recently where when players have a full no movement clause, they hold all the power, right? Like, yeah, Brady Tkachuk threw out, a couple of teams is like, oh, see what kind of deals you can work out. But then as soon as he sees that there's a good offer from Florida
As
and there's
soon
a
as Florida
possibility to
was
go there,
serious about it.
he's gonna take that one. And why wouldn't he? Florida's a phenomenal team. Two cups in the last 3 years, three trips to the Cup Finals in the last 4 years. He gets to go play with his brother.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't he, right? And Dylan Larkin. I mean, again, Vegas, Minnesota, Florida. But now it's starting to sound like his preferred destination is Dallas, which is at least something kind of new um, in this circle of players wanting out. But again, yeah, I think it's a combination of, being careful on who you draft, but also being careful on who you're giving these no movement clauses to.
Right. Yeah, because, we've seen plenty of these players in the past stay with their teams for, you know, 17 years. And then when they're 36, 37, if they don't have a cup, then they start, in their late 30s going to try and find a team to hitch their wagon to if they don't have a cup yet. And at that point,
Yeah.
like all the players that do that, basically every single one of them, all the fans are sitting there saluting them on the way out, going like, "We hope you get a fucking cup wherever you go." Like, guys, guys like a Ginla, Joe Thornton, like they stick with their team for so long, and then you know, they gave it a fair shake. Guys like Larkin and Tkachuk, they're leaving pretty young. Hellebuck, he's like 33. Like that's a bit more fair, I would say. He's been there. He's
Hmm.
been where he's been quite a bit longer than the other guys. But I think one thing that really annoys me with a lot of these players that all so many of them just happen to be on that U.S. Olympic team. It's hard to know if that's a real connection or if that's just kind of circumstance with a bunch of star players. But I I really do I just hate that all of them are asking for trades, but they're all giving these same top teams. And it's like I get it because they are that most of them are that good, but it's like man, these guys think they're such God's gift to earth that they can just all force their trades to the best teams. Like it's so I genuinely hope that history remembers these guys as passengers. Like, just I want to go to the top team while I'm in my prime. Damn, whatever's going on that team, on the team I'm getting traded from. I want to go to the best team that I know can win without me, and I want to go win there. And it's like
Yeah.
it just feels so lazy. It does make the trade market boring. It's fun when big trades like this happen. Don't get me wrong. Like it's more entertaining that this Kachuk trade happens than doesn't. But like if he got traded to a Nashville or something, that's more entertaining than another one to Florida. Oh, another big name goes to Vegas, daring today, aren't we? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I mean, it's.
everyone by 26 years old seemingly thinks they deserve a cup already, and it's like, bro, this is a fucking tough league.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, and again, that's the thing is it's more rewarding when you've been grinding for as opposed to, yeah, I'm just gonna go, I'm a good player, I'm part of the team, but it's like you're a passenger, right?
yep.
Like
I
Florida's
respect
already still a
Barkov's
cup
cup
winning team.
more than Kachuk's cup, but I'm going to respect Matthew Kachuk's cups much more than Brady Tkachuk's if they win
Yeah,
another one.
yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely. And again, same thing with a Dylan Larkin. If he goes, same thing with the Zach Werenski, same thing uh, with a Connor Hellebuyck's maybe a bit different because he's actually kind of starting to get up there a bit. And
Yeah,
um,
he's I believe 33. Like that's That's like 5 or 6 years older
And
than a lot of these other guys. Quinn Hughes is like what, 26, and he wanted out,
mhm,
which I mean, obviously the fucking Canucks are a tire fire. It's pretty hard to blame him that much, but
yeah.
and he didn't have the trade protection. So
Mhm.
he's one of the few situations where he could have gone anywhere, but he still went to one of these teams.
Yeah. And with Connor Hellebuck, it's pretty difficult for a goalie to go somewhere and be a passenger. Like wherever he goes, he's the
Yeah.
guy. And so
True. It's
um
not like he would be a passenger, but like he's, you know,
it's not gonna
he's a
feel the same as
he's
if
the
he
Vesna
grinded and won
caliber
it with
goal. Yeah,
yeah,
he's a Vesna
with Winnipeg.
caliber goalie dropping into a team that they know can win with other
Mhm.
goalies. So like,
Yeah. That
yeah,
that's if he
he
goes
wouldn't
to
he
that's if
wouldn't
he goes to Florida.
yeah.
If he goes to like a Minnesota, that's different. But obviously he wouldn't go to Minnesota. Um
That would be ridiculous.
yeah, I mean obviously a great deal for Florida. Again, you don't need these picks and
Yeah.
it just goes to show all the people that were celebrating that they missed the playoffs and laughing and dancing on the Panthers' grave this year. They got their lick back because they just pissed everyone off by
Yeah.
uh, pulling this deal off, and the thought that they can roll out a second line of the two Tkachuks together with Bennett is
And they're going to.
insane. I
They're
I
at
I,
least
I
gonna
don't think
try
they
it.
should. I don't think you can put the Tkachuks on a line together because they don't focus on playing hockey as much, really. And maybe it is just because it was four nations and whatnot, and different stage and whatnot. But
I kind of think so, just because
from what we've
they
seen, at
can't
least,
keep
it
that up.
doesn't seem.
They're not going to keep that up for 84 games, right? Like,
No, they'll be injured in no time. And for Ottawa, I mean, it's a decent return back. Again, I don't see them using all these picks. I think more moves are happening because again, Ottawa can't do a retool. Like you still got to keep going on just trying to win now.
yeah,
And you could get a really good player at 9, 25, but those guys are still a couple years out. They do no immediate good for you right now.
right.
The only free agent you could get that would be more impactful up front for you, other than Brady Tkachuk, would be Alex Tuck. Would Alex Tuck want to go to Ottawa? I'm going to assume not.
I would
Um,
definitely assume not, but at the same
so,
time, he was in Vegas and was very happy to get traded to Buffalo. So
well, but
he's a
he's
bit of a
from
different guy.
Buffalo.
He is from Buffalo, but like clearly he's not like I want to go to, only the few teams that most guys seem to want to, and like that's kind of
Mhm.
it. Like he at least seems open to doing other stuff. Um right now it seems like he's really following the money, but I mean, if you're looking to replace what Brady Tkachuk gave you, you could do a lot worse than Alex Tuck. I I think he's about the same goal scorer. I think he's a better point generator. He plays a physical game, not as physical as Brady Tkachuk, but like replaces some of it, maybe half as physical, a little
I
bit better
wouldn't say
passing.
half.
Like, yeah, maybe half, like probably like 30% of it realistically, if that. Brady Tkachuk does fight a bit. Like, but you could do a lot worse uh covering that spot up if they can swing that. Um
I think it'll be interesting though with Ottawa though, because obviously as mentioned,
yeah.
Brady Tkachuk was their captain. What does this mean for the future of Jake Sanderson? I think Jake Sanderson's realistically the best option to be the next captain for the Sens. So, if they give him the C, then I think it's pretty clear that he's still committed there and wants to win there. If
They
they
got to make sure
don't,
he is first.
it's
They got
most
to
likely that he's kind of got potentially one foot out the door. Not saying that's a guarantee, but I think it would be pretty shocking if he's not the next captain, unless you re-sign Giroux and have him be cap. But again, like
I
that's
was going to
just a
say I
filler,
have
and that
3
doesn't do you any
candidates.
good.
I think you could bring back Giroux, make him captain, and he'll be a Mark Giordano in Seattle type transitional captain. He'll be good for a year or two. You figure out who the next guy is, you hand it off.
Mhm.
You could also go Jake Sanderson long term, or if they want a guy that kind of is in the middle of those, who's been there for a bit, I think they could go Thomas Chabot. It depends how
Okay,
big
I'm
big
just
of a
glad you didn't say Tim Stute. So
no,
thank you.
no,
I was gonna lose my
no.
mind if you said
That's
that.
that's a Kucherov type player where there's plenty of nights where he's the best player on the ice. Uh, he doesn't need the C on his jersey. You
I
just
think
don't
it's
need
just
that.
pretty simple. If you got a guy that dives that much, it's just an embarrassing to have him be.
Yeah.
the captain of your team. Like for me, that's literally the only reason. It's just that simple. Is you got a guy
And
that
he's got that
flops that much,
reputation
like you
with the
just
refs too. Like
yeah,
that's the guy
you
who's going to
can't.
represent your team to the refs when there's a major penalty. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, fuck off, Tim. Like they're not going to take him seriously.
I
So
could see Shabbat potentially. I don't mind that, but
it depends
yeah, I
how
would be pretty shocked if it's not
some of the
Sanderson.
locker room dynamics there.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
I've been seeing this take a lot more, and I totally agree with it. Teams, and especially obviously these Canadian teams, and just in general less desirable markets. Teams like Columbus, and I guess up until this year, Buffalo, teams like that. Uh, they need to stop handing out the captaincy as a player retention tactic. They need to stop giving out
Mhm.
these captaincies to try and get a guy to stick around. Like you just got to
Yeah.
pick the guy who's right for the job. And
Yeah.
nobody's complaining that Landeskog isn't the best player and is the captain on the Avs because everyone knows that he's the best leader for that locker room, right? Like it's fine if Jordan Stahl's a third liner on Carolina
That's my winner.
for the most part. Um, Sometimes he gets swapped up to that first in the finals, but like, yeah, that's so. If he has to be a depth guy, it has to be a depth guy. Like, you don't have to
Hmm.
just give it to a guy to try and keep him around because then it looks pretty goofy when you have to trade him because he wants out. So,
Yeah. Yes, but yeah, when your captain's requesting a trade, it's like that's not a good look for the organization.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, two trades very close here. It's basically, it's basically a three-team deal.
yeah,
When you break it all down, I like it for all three teams. Obviously, I
I do
think
too.
Florida the most, just because again, it is
Yeah,
just continuing to be all in, win now. Um, and
Pro-
again, like a team that's
just proving a
already
lot
a
of people wrong
playoff.
with their philosophy for how trades can work. Like,
Hmm.
the amount of people that are just like, uh, what's Florida going to do this offseason, though? They can't possibly make another big trade. We hear it with Vegas. They've already went out and got Marner. They already went out and got Eichel. They already went out and this guy and Anderson and Hannafin. Like,
Yeah,
how could they
Stone,
possibly get another
Hurdle,
guy?
like
I don't know, but they can do it.
they
Like,
find a way.
these top teams, like, have you noticed that these top teams are playing it a bit more like franchise mode
Hmm.
than they used to? Like, teams used to be passive as hell. Everyone was scared to fuck up, and the best teams are the most aggressive teams right now in the league.
Well, the thing also, Florida was aggressive and it blew up in their face. What was it, 5 years ago or four or whatever? When at the deadline they gave up a first round pick for Ben Sherratt. They gave up a first round pick in Owen Tippett for Claude Giroux. They won the President's Trophy and what went out round one.
Round two
And then okay, so round two. And
to
then
the
it's like
Lightning
again,
is
they
why I
give
know
up
that.
two firsts and their best prospect. Go round two, and then you lose Ben Sherratt, you lose Drew, and it's like, well, we're fucked. And then cup final, back to back cups. Like,
Yeah,
again, so sometimes when you're aggressive, sometimes it blows up in your face. But more often than not, yeah, when you're aggressive, you go out and you get the guy you want. It works. It's been working for Vegas. It's working for Florida. We'll see if other teams start to follow suit.
yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people, and it's funny because people have accepted that's how it is now for those teams, but they can't envision it for other teams. Like, you know, a team like Detroit will go out and they'll trade for a decent player, and then all the Red Wing fans will be like, "All right, that's it. Stop the count. That's it. That's all we can do right now." And it's like, well, you can still make more trades. You could do a lot of stuff at once. Like, it doesn't have to be one trade, wait 5 months, make a trade, wait 5 months. Like, you can revamp your roster pretty quick if you're aggressive about it. And that's what all the best teams are doing, man. A lot of these other teams, they got to pick it up and they got to get going.
Yep.
Cuz
So
yeah,
again, biggest thing with Ottawa to keep an eye on and see what they do here. Again, I do think these picks are all in play. I think they're going to
100%.
try and do a quick turnaround, and we'll see what happens there. But I do like it for all three teams, but obviously Florida the most because it helps them the most in their quest to get back in the playoffs next year and you
Yeah.
know go for a third cup and really cement themselves as a dynasty. But I think we
I
can move on.
I
Unless you
have a
have anything
prediction for
else.
the Florida Panthers.
All right.
So right now they have 7.3 million in cap space and zero goalies
Yeah,
signed for
yeah,
next year. At
they
least
do need
NHL
goals.
goalies. Obviously they have I believe it's Cooper Black from the AHL that they could bring up, but Daniil Tarasov and Sergei Bobrovsky are both UFAs. My prediction is that they are going to either bring in Sergei Bobrovsky or from the KHL, but you all know the name, Ilya Samsonov, to play for them next season. I think I think there's a decent chance that Bob comes back, even though he's looking for big money. Um, but if not, I wouldn't be shocked if they brought Sammy back. I think his last year and a half in the NHL was not great, but before that, I want to say I think he had a 919 the year
I mean,
before.
and it's a low
919
risk.
and
Like,
22-23 in 42 games. So like
and it is a
he
low
can be
risk
a
for
great goalie.
Florida. Like, it's you offer them,
Yeah,
hey, 1 year deal, 850,000. You either take it and you come back to the NHL, or you stay over there. I
you
wouldn't be
stay in
shocked too
Sochi Hockey Club.
if they go after Aiden Hill.
I was
I
thinking
think
that as
that's a guy
well.
they can get Aiden Hill probably for free. I think Vegas, if they get the chance to just offload him, they absolutely will. So I definitely think that's a possibility for them. But yeah, they got to figure out their goaltending because yeah, right now they don't really have anyone going into next year. So
That's
Florida's
the only bit of
obviously
hope we
not
have to
done.
cling on to at the moment. Like,
They'll
but
find someone.
well, how about this? What if who's the new coach in Vegas? What's his name?
Can't remember his name. Did I
That
actually think Craig Ryan? Ryan Craig.
that's not it. I knew it was like two two white guy first names. I thought it was something Smith. What if he goes in there and he looks at the team and he goes, Aiden Hill's our guy. What if there's a world where this team also trades for Carter Hart this offseason?
Wouldn't be shocked because
He
Vegas
fumbled.
is going to move out one goalie. Don't know which one,
Absolutely.
but one of them is definitely going to be out the door.
Could be both. I mean, Carter Hart's just kind of a PR nightmare. He was good for parts, but I mean, he crumbled in the finals. Like it wasn't all his fault, but he didn't help him out as much as they would have liked. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't be shocked if they moved on from him either because, Tortorella's gone and obviously he was a huge Torts guy.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yes.
interesting to see that. Yeah. Bobrovsky
We'll
might
see.
end up signing in Vegas. If they move out Aiden Hill, I wouldn't be shocked at all, frankly.
Yeah, maybe.
And
Yeah, I think there's going to be
they'd find a
a
way to
lot
get
of
out from
crazy
the deal
stuff.
as soon as Bob falls off
Mhm.
far enough to they don't want him. So
Yeah, it's going to be a
yeah,
busy week coming up here. Obviously, the draft on Friday, and then the re-sign period, and then free agency Wednesday next week. So lots of stuff will be happening, and yeah, we'll be keeping you guys up to date with all of that. Moving on to the other Florida team that pulled off a move here, the Tampa Bay Lightning sending Darren Raddysh to the Toronto Maple Leafs for a 2026 fifth round pick, and Raddysh signing an 8 by 8.5 million extension with Toronto. Braden, you're the Tampa Bay guy here. What are your thoughts here?
I think people are looking at this deal wrong because they want to hate the Leafs. I'm sorry to everyone out there. The Leafs fucking knocked this out of the park. People are like, Radish has a good shot. No, no, no. He is Shea Weber of 2026. There is one guy in the entire league. He's not as good as Shea Weber. I'll say that right now. But what I mean is his shot is a one of one. There is nobody else in the league who can do what he can do with his shot. It's not the best shot. It's not the most accurate shot. He's not Austin Matthews. But for guys who had over, I think it was 100, I'm trying to remember the metric conversion because they usually do miles per hour. I want to say it's over 170 kilometer an hour shots. Evan Bouchard was in second with like 21 of those shots. Darren Raddysh had like 58. Like he almost like tripled up the guy in second. Like his shot is such a weapon that, and it's funny because they're so used to Morgan Riley, who you don't have to guard at all on the power play. Please shoot, because we know it's not going in. He can't score. Yeah. He's throwing muffins from the blue line. He's a passer only. So they're going to have this guy as a weapon up there, and 8.5, that's going to be a boat anchor. I hate to tell you this, as soon as this or next season, that is second pairing defenseman money. The top guys, they don't make 12 mil anymore. Makar's extension is probably going to be like 18 mil. Unless he does Colorado a huge solid. Him, Quinn Hughes, Zach Werenski, they're all up around the same time, and you back up the Brinks truck. Like 16 mil by 8 years should be the floor for those guys. Like the least they take. So
yeah,
8.5 for term. That's maybe at the very end of it, it's not looking great, but when has a team ever cared about years 7 and 8 of a deal?
You can offload those.
As a GM, you don't plan for that because you don't plan to be around then. You plan to win before then. And
yeah. And if you are still around to deal with it, well, that means you probably won a cup. So
exactly,
you're chilling then. I mean, for Toronto, this is exactly what they needed. They needed a right-handed shot offensive defenseman who can run that power play, can get pucks through, can run things from up top. So I mean, like
pretty good defensively too. Like
home run
he's not a one-dimensional player either, and he's also the type of guy that I think Toronto needs physically and just emotionally. Like he's not a guy who's going to go out there and be a wrecking ball. He's not going to go out there and spark the boys, but
you don't need him to, though. That's the thing.
Exactly. He's the baseline Tampa player, and he's, frankly, the baseline Florida as a state player. Both teams do it. A lot of the winning teams right now do it, where every player on the team has to buy into, okay, fine, you don't have to go start all the fights, but don't get pushed around. Don't be anybody's bitch. Nobody last season was making Darren Raddysh their bitch. If they would push him, he'd fucking shove them back harder. Like he's not gonna take garbage. If he's out there when the Matthews knee hit happens, his glove is in Gudas's face within 5 seconds at the most. Like he's getting in there.
Yeah, and he's exactly what
underratedly that's going to be big for him too. Yeah, he's going to fit very well on that team.
A whole lot more than just a good deal for Toronto. Good for Raddysh, again, a guy who at this point now has made like probably just over $2 million playing hockey, and
he's never had an AAV above 1 mil. I don't believe
he's now making big money here. So
I'm kind of annoyed Tampa couldn't
be happier for the Leafs.
I'm kind of annoyed Tampa couldn't find the room to make room for this exact deal. Like, because the rumors were all, if he hits free agency, he's getting 10 mil plus. Like, it's a bidding war. There's nobody else really available. 8.5? We couldn't have found the chicken scratch for that. Like, I don't mind that. He played real well with Moser. But, Brisebois a much better GM than I would be in his position. So, you know what? We'll trust in the process, and we'll see how it ends up shaking out. Maybe they have plans for something else. Maybe they're going to get Tuck. Who knows?
I wouldn't be shocked if they go and grab John Carlson.
I'm pretty sure as Elliot Friedman said the other day that he would be surprised if he didn't go to Tampa.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And so it makes the most sense to go to Tampa, and probably around the similar AAV, maybe even a bit more, but
it sounds like it's going to be a good bit more for 2 years. It sounds like they're looking at maybe an 11 by 2, which obviously is a lot of money, but for 2 years, as long as you can figure out the Kucherov extension, then...
But John Carlson will do wonders on that Tampa power play.
Yeah.
Like that'll be a good ad for them if that is the replacement option.
One other guy that is available, supposedly, that I haven't heard Tampa link to at all, but I would love to see them go after, is Jordan Spence. Uh, I mean, what team couldn't say that, though? The Sharks probably
Mhm.
loved a guy like that as well. Who wouldn't? Like, he's what,
Yeah, I think
20,
there's if he's
23,
available,
24, a
a lot
really
of teams
good
will.
underlying numbers, right-handed shot defenseman. So, especially if him and like the 9th overall pick are involved in a deal, they could go out and get somebody big. You know who needs a guy, some good players on the right-handed side? Dallas Stars.
Yeah,
There might be something there for a Robertson trade.
as
Or
long as
maybe one of
Robertson's
their other big
willing to
players.
come in with an extension already signed.
Yeah,
That'd be the big thing. Like, he'd
yeah,
need
it
to come
definitely
in
would
and
be.
have that locked in.
Or
Um,
maybe they pick up another guy. Maybe it's a Wyatt Johnston, but that
no,
clears up the cap space for Robertson, and then Robertson
Dallas isn't.
stays.
Dallas isn't trained
You know,
Wyatt Johnston.
I very much doubt it, but the possibility of maybe going after somebody else, and then that just means Dallas instead gets to extend Robertson, depending on if they value him more than the other guy and the difference in cap and all that. But
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
a really
Dallas will be a
interesting time
team
now.
to.
You can't say
Yeah,
the NHL isn't interesting right now. The on ice product has never been better, and teams are much more aggressive than they've been in a long time, which is
well, a
always
team
fun.
that got really aggressive in making a move that a lot of people are having a hard time getting behind. It is official. The Edmonton Oilers have hired Mike Babcock, as you mentioned earlier at the start of the episode. He's in. He's in Edmonton, and
Yep.
I mean we've
He
already gone great lengths talking about this, but yeah, this one again is just a head scratcher.
how how long before we hear something insane from the locker room? How long? Like, because he's done this everywhere he's gone. He's he's not going to be able to resist himself. I cannot imagine a world where this guy just keeps his nose
I'm
clean
not even gonna
and
go
does his
down
own thing.
that road. Like I never like to be the person that just preys on the downfall of someone. Like if is Babcock going to do something dumb? You know, potentially.
And I'm
Like
not
I'm not
saying
going to
it's going to
say
be
it's
something as bad as the Marner
a
situation
guarantee,
that gets him fired, but like,
but I'm not even going to say it's a guarantee he does something bad. Maybe he's going to come in and it's just solely focused on. And again, we who knows for sure. It's 50-50. I just don't like the hiring mainly because I think the game has just passed him by. I don't think he's a
yeah.
the way he sees the game and his coaching style is a fit in today's game
Well,
is
that's what
is
makes
my
it so
biggest thing.
confusing, right? Like,
Hmm.
it's, you know, you don't want to hire a bully. Like, he's just a dick. Like, he's just not a good dude. But like, I mean, fuck. If John Cooper was a dickhead, there'd be a lot of teams still wanting to pick him up.
Everyone would still want their team to
But
hire him.
but this guy isn't. Sure, he was good 20 years ago, but like down the stretch, his final like 5 years in the league, he was not a very successful coach. So
And then
it's
you tack
crazy
on
that they're
that time
willing
he's
to
been out.
put. Yeah, there's all the time he's been out. There's all the bad stories, and the fact that you're dealing with all of that for a mediocre head coach.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's my
yeah,
biggest thing again, is he going to be an asshole in the locker room? I'm not even going to speculate on that. Maybe 50-50. It either happens or it doesn't. But for me, it's just again, the Oilers are clearly in win now mode. You've got a very small window here, um, and I just don't think this moves them in a more positive direction towards winning a cup, right? And
yeah.
maybe this.
This is their big swing to keep Connor McDavid,
Well,
the
and
most
that's the thing
talented
that
player
makes
we've
it
ever seen.
tough, right? Like when
Like,
we look at Edmonton, it's everybody's talking about, how awful Stan Bowman has been there. And this is Bowman putting his job and reputation on the line with hiring Mike Babcock. If shit goes sideways and it doesn't work out, Bowman's fired, very good chance he never gets another job again. Because it's like when your back's against the wall, you turn to Mike Babcock of all people.
yeah.
And if it
Eh,
doesn't work out again, but again, it's
You
so
thought it was
tough
hard
when
being a goalie in this
McDavid.
market before. You thought it was hard being Stuart Skinner and Tristan Jarry before. Now you got Babcock breathing down your neck. That's that's nightmare scenario. Like, unless they're the team that goes out and trades for a Connor Hellebuck, unless they get a bona fide goalie.
They don't even have the assets for Hellebuck though. Like you're
No, not
maybe being able to squeeze out a UC Saros out of Nashville at most.
yeah, that's much more likely. And even then, they would still have to give up some roster guys, which wouldn't help them win as soon as this year. Like, it's are they going to overpay to hell and back for Sergei Bobrovsky? It's reported Bobrovsky is looking to make around 42 million or more on his
He
contract.
wants one of those veteran long-term deals.
The Brad Marchand deal.
Yeah.
Which I've been looking it up kind of passively throughout the show to confirm it because people keep talking about it and I've not heard of this deal before, but if it's real, it makes sense. But you know how there's the 35-year-old plus deal, right? Apparently, there's 37 plus deals where if you sign a deal once you're 37 or older, apparently you can't mitigate your cap hit at all. The team can't. Like, if a team signed him to a long-term deal like that and he went on LTIR or even retired, even if he retires, the team is on the hook for the full cap hit if you sign it once you're 27 or older. So, like, if he does get a long-term deal, you can't hide it on LTIR if he never plays again. You can't, even if he's carry priced, right? Like, you can't, even if he retires, the team's on the hook for that. So, if that is true, and I'm struggling to find it, but there's not a lot of great sites to Google that, what team could possibly deal with that? Because if that's true and he's holding firm on that amount of money, if that's the case, he's not going back to Florida.
Yeah, no.
Florida's not going to screw themselves like that. I could see Edmonton shooting himself in the foot like that. That wouldn't shock me too much.
I could, but again, it's I don't even know. Again, like I'm
year of Jari.
And if the rumors are true that
maybe they need
McDavid advocated for the hiring of Mike Babcock, well then he doesn't deserve to win in Edmonton. All the people are saying like, oh, McDavid needs to win as an Oiler. He needs to bring a cup to Edmonton. But does he? If he's on this short timeline that he
and
set
how
up
interesting
in his 2-year
is that
extension,
though?
And he says, yeah, Mike Babcock, let's go with him.
Like, how interesting is that though? That McDavid, I mean, we all see the writing on the wall. If they can't do it soon, he is going to leave, seemingly. Yeah. But like, it really does feel like Canadian versus American. Look at all these Americans jumping ship when the going gets tough. Man, McDavid's giving it his fucking all to Edmonton. If they don't win a cup this or next year and he leaves, I don't think any Oilers fans are going to blame him. They're all going to blame the front office for failing Connor. Like, because he is so clearly doing everything he can to win for them. And the team's not doing
advocating
it back, right?
for this move doesn't help though.
No, it doesn't. But like, he's clearly committed to the Oilers as much as a player really can be committed to a team. Like, they won early on with Crosby. If Crosby was at this point and the team kept making boneheaded moves and they couldn't win, Crosby we'd probably be having similar talks. Like, I don't think he would have been a Pittsburgh lifer if it kept going like this for 20 years. So
yeah, it's so tough with Edmonton, and then the 2 extensions. Jason Dickinson, 5-year deal at $4 million per year. Connor Murphy, 5-year deal, 4.1 per year. I'm in between on these. Again, I think both these deals are going to age pretty poorly, especially the Murphy deal, because again, already is 33, and those more so defensive defensemen don't age as well.
Chicago, Dickinson, you can really tell because Chicago Blackhawks fans were saying, "Good luck having him be healthy for even half of that contract." It sounds like he's just one of those classic defensive defenseman guys who's great at his job. That means he blocks a lot of shots. That means his body's getting hit with a lot of high velocity rubber. Like
net front battles.
doing that
Again, like
84 times
good
a year is
player, and
crazy.
if you're Edmonton, you kind of have to. Like it's hard to find a solid right hand defensive defenseman right now, and their goal is to win now. But yeah, the deal is over time is going to age poorly. I think the Dickinson one, it just feels like a lot of term for a bottom sixer. Again, like good defensively, not much offensively to his game. So
How old is Dickinson?
I'm not even sure.
I can
29
pull
or
that up
30.
because I don't dislike this one as much as the Murphy one. What do they got him here? 30.
Okay, so he's 30.
He's 30, but he turns 31 July 4th. So in like 2 weeks.
So
So
yeah,
he's
so
going to
it'll
be
be
31 going into the year. That's not great, but at least for the next few years, I don't mind a cap hit for what he does. Like he is a bit more of a depth guy, but he's one of those depth guys that is good in the face-off circle, good defensively. I believe plays a lot of penalty kill time.
Mhm.
Like so I don't hate 4 mil for that, but later on it is gonna look less and less appealing. It does turn the no move because he has a full no move clause. Apparently, it's Jason Dickinson, man. Do you need a full no move for 3 years? The final 2 years, it goes down to a modified no trade, 16 team trade list. Jason Dickinson, does he need a no move clause with
That's
5
what I'm
years at
saying though.
4?
That's how they keep the AAV down.
His AAV was that much higher. I mean, that's yeah, I get that's the league we're in now. Like
Yeah.
those depth guys are getting paid, and frankly, good for them. Like fucking Christ, who is the baseball player the other day who or the basketball player who extended for 2 years for like $500 million? Oh no, it was a football player. It was Patrick Mahomes, I think. Um, like they're making so much more money. Some of those guys in a year make more than Ovechkin and Crosby are going to make over their entire careers, which is insane. So
It's nuts. Yeah, Edmonton, it's yeah. I mean, we'll see. Again,
I would have rather
it's
played
another team
Broberg
that,
personally.
yeah, I think all Oilers fans would have. Um, yeah, it's Edmonton again. Like a lot of these teams, it's going to be. It kind of feels like there's going to be a lot of moves made this off season, and a lot of teams are scrambling, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the Babcock hiring, I'm not on board with, and I don't expect that I'm going to be proven wrong, as most of us feel with this one. But yeah, best of luck to him. Best of luck to the Oilers, and see what happens. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
What else do we got? Do we got anything else? Anything else you wanted to
We got the
touch on?
I mean, I guess we can also mention it while we're talking about Babcock's hiring. I believe the Oilers hired DJ Smith as one of the
Oh,
assistants. Um,
good.
don't have a ton to say
Yippee.
on that. I mean, it's better than Mike Babcock as their head coach, but it's somewhere in between there and worse than Bruce or shit. Who is Craig Berube being their head coach if they were to hire him? Somewhere in between there, but bringing in more guys, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
but the other main thing I wanted to talk about was the Hall of Fame class has been
Oh
announced
yes.
for 2026. The NHL Hall of Fame class. I'm gonna read out the players we got here. We got Carey Price is going to be
Sharks
inducted, I believe.
legend.
Sharks legend, uh, best player he was ever on a roster with, Macklin Celebrini. Pekka Rinne, which I was surprised to see him on there that quickly, but I'm so glad that he's getting in this year. I'm so glad. I love Pekka Rinne. I think he was always, he's a Hall of Fame goalie now, but even when he was playing, I think he was still underrated a bit just because he was playing in Nashville and they never got over that hump. Super glad he's getting that recognition. Patrice Bergeron, Nobody had doubts that he was going to be in here. First ballot. That makes all the sense in the world. Cindy Curley, a female hockey player, I believe. I'm not familiar with their game. And Keith Tkachuk, which
big weekend for
is
the Tkachuks.
It's kind of crazy considering he had no cups, no individual awards. Member of the 500 Goal Club, I'm pretty sure, but never won anything really in his career. And longtime NHL executive Brian Burke was the only guy in the builder section to get brought in, but that makes all the sense in the world. Fuck, man.
Good
This
class.
was a really good class, and I think it could have been perfect. I think it was one pick away. I think if you drop Keith Tkachuk and you put in Rod the Bod, who should be here on his playing merits alone, but he just won the cup as a coach now. Rod the Bod should be in the hall.
He'll probably be in next year, I imagine.
I don't think he will be. I think he'll be in the first year where Ron Francis isn't the chair of the Hall of Fame selection committee, because he gets final say on everybody. And it sounds like they have a very, very rocky relationship at this point. So it's just one of those things where old boys club, they don't like each other, and I don't doubt that as soon as he's not in charge of that, or somebody puts pressure on him to just let the dude in, then it'll happen. But until then, he'll be waiting, which is annoying.
I think he'll get in. I think he'll get in sooner.
I sure hope so.
It's always so tough though, because they're again, it's it would have been very fitting for he just won the cup as coach with the Hurricanes, but it's also again, Keith Tkachuk is a fine choice. That's and that's what it is, right? It is there's a lot of people that are saying Pekka Rinne shouldn't be in, right? But there's the argument of it is the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's not just the NHL.
It's not the NHL. It's not even an NHL affiliated thing, right? It's obviously there's overlap a lot. That's where a lot of the great hockey players go, but it's not run by the NHL. It is run by the Hockey Hall of Fame is its own thing. There's the NHL, there's the IIHF, and there's the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's its own entity. So yeah, they take into account juniors' success. They take into account international success, and maybe that helped out Pekka Rinne some, but I'm not sure. Does he have any? Do you know if he has any medals?
I'm not too sure, actually.
He's got a Vezina. He's got a King Clancy. That's all I'm seeing. He won a championship in the SM Liga in 03-04.
Won a World Junior silver medal.
8th round pick by the Preds. What a pick. 258th overall. I don't even know if they have that pick anymore. I don't even know if it goes that far. Yeah, I'm very glad that he got in. I've always been a big Pekka Rinne fan, and I always felt like he was one of those guys that might be on the cusp of getting in, but just quite wouldn't get there. So I'm very glad that he's getting in, and we don't have to wait too long for that.
But I think we are at the tail end of the episode. A little bit of a shorter one, but we've got a lot more stuff coming this week. I don't have a game today for us, but that is because a lot of my time and efforts have been put towards doing up a mock draft. So I think we'll talk about it and plan how we want to do that. Maybe we'll just do that as something just over on the YouTube, or maybe we'll make that a part of Friday's episode, because again, Friday's episode will be out before the draft. It'll be out Friday morning, so keep an eye out for that. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Again, the draft, free agency. We'll probably be doing some free agency predictions. Maybe we'll do some bold draft and free agency predictions, all that kind of stuff, bold offseason predictions. A lot of fun stuff coming because, again, it is a very exciting time of the year. So,
yeah.
Oh, Ronaldo scored again. He's got 2.
He's crazy.
Good for him.
Is Cape Verde going to win the World Series?
Huh?
Is Cape Verde going to win the World Series? Everyone's been talking about them since they tied Spain, I think it was, in like a game a couple days ago. So
World Cup, not World Series.
Sure, whatever. I don't know.
Close
Football.
enough.
Football is life.
It's got the word world in it.
World Championship of Football Soccer.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be talking, we'll be discussing how we want to do everything. But yeah, keeping out on the socials, on the YouTube, on all platforms, and because again, a lot of stuff will be coming up, so we got a lot of fun stuff there. But lots already happened, a lot will continue to happen. But before we wrap this up, Braden, as always, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I don't think we ended up really talking about it, but Bob McMahon, 6-year extension at $5.75 mil AAV. Another middle sixer for the Seattle Kraken. Honestly, I don't mind it, but at the same time, they're going to have to find some of those top guys eventually. So, good luck to them. They got a high draft pick.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do with it.
Keep an eye out for my mock draft. That'll got some fun stuff for Seattle.
There we go. A little bit of a teaser.
But if you want to talk hockey, let us know your thoughts on everything discussed. Let us know your thoughts on the Brady Tkachuk trade, as I know everybody has a lot of thoughts about that. And we love to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions on that. So you can do so through any of our socials. They are linked down below, or over on YouTube in the comments or community section as well. But that is it for this episode. One final time, we hope you all enjoyed. And as always, we will see all of you lovely, wonderful people out on the ice later this week.